And so this is a really this is a definitely this book could be your lifesaver. So and I want to welcome back Christina Behnke, who is at Vogue Knitting. Welcome back, Christina.
Hello.
It's really nice to
Thank you
have
very
you back
much.
again. I
It's
feel
great
like
to be back.
I think I almost spend more time with you than I do with my husband at
Oh,
this point, which it's not a bad thing. Christina has a
yeah,
very cool
talk about
job.
knitting.
She spends her days up to her elbows in yarn, which is not a bad thing at
Nope.
all. Not so much.
Can't complain.
Yeah. So, and if you did, nobody'd listen. So it kind of works out all
That's
right.
just,
So Christine is here to talk about the latest from Sixth and Spring in the 60 Quick Knits series. Which is this the fifth or sixth maybe in the series?
honestly, I've lost count, but I think that's about right.
I
Yeah.
think that, yeah, I think that's right.
So yeah.
And because it just started with 60 quick knits, and then 60 more quick knits, and
Mhm.
then 60 quick baby knits, and 60 quick baby blankets, which maybe was the
Mhm.
last one you were here for.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the 60 quick knits from America's Yarn Shops, which is the one
Mhm.
we're here to talk about. And and the really kind of the nice thing about the yarn shop projects is, first of all, it's kind of like a little tour of shops across the country. You kind of sh- get to visit other yarn stores without actually leaving home.
Oh
And
yeah.
like most knitters, when I go to a new place, the first thing I want to do is go visit yarn stores, which is actually,
Oh,
I don't know
absolutely.
if you knew, this is how Planet Pearl got started.
Oh yeah.
With Yeah, it is. I had hundreds of thousands of frequent flyer miles, and my mother
Oh.
had gotten very sick, and I helped take care of her, and she recovered, thank goodness. But I had one of those life is short moments, and I was
Mhm.
practicing law and actually had been doing it for over 20 years and really hated it. It was very I was a trial lawyer. It was a very vicious job, and decided I was going to use up as many frequent flyer miles as I could, and decided
Mhm.
I was going to take lots of trips.
Mhm.
And the first thing I wanted to do was find yarn stores. I was going to go to Italy for a couple of
Oh wow.
weeks, and I thought, well, surely there's got to be a website that has all the yarn stores in the universe. And
Mhm.
I there wasn't. That's actually how
Oh
Planet
wow.
Pearl got started, because I wanted to find yarn stores in Prague and Vienna and Budapest and Rome
Mhm.
and Venice, and there wasn't.
Right.
Yeah, and I was I was spent days
Oh
and
wow.
days finding blogs and trying to
Mhm.
figure out where yarn stores were. So it's actually how
That's
Planet Pearl got
amazing.
started. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is kind of this is a little it's like a little tour of yarn stores, which is kind of
Mhm.
cool. So from all across the country. So these are all American
Yeah.
yarn stores. So oh,
Yep. And
so
it's really
Shannon
from
says
coast to coast. We've
she's going to
covered as
Italy
many
in
states
May.
as we possibly could.
Shannon, email me. I'll tell you where the good places are to go shopping for yarn. And bring an extra suitcase, honey, because you're gonna
Mm.
need it. You'll need it. So I ended up
Oh
buying
yeah, a
one
lot of
while
great
I
yarns come from Italy.
yeah, because all the fiber manufacturers,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, bring an extra suitcase. I ended up buying one while I was there
Oh wow.
to get my yarn
Yeah.
home.
Well, I don't blame you.
It was crazy. Yeah.
There's a lot of great stuff there.
So let's take a peek of at some of the projects in the book. And I think when I was picking projects in here too, I think one of the things that really struck me, because did I not pick the right thing? Was that they're in yarn oh, I did. Oh, and then I just picked the wrong thing. The In yarn stores, most of the shop patterns, I think, are kind of designed for learning a new skill. I think a lot of the shop patterns in the shops that I go to are really designed for a class or something where they're teaching something.
Yep.
So they tend not to have like 20 new skills packed into a single pattern, where it won't be lace and double knitting and cabling and like crazy stuff all packed into a single pattern. That it tends to have like one single skill, so that it's
Mhm.
really a great they're great opportunities to practice something new without getting overwhelmed.
Right. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
definitely technique driven. And
Yeah. So
there are all kinds of techniques in this book too.
yeah, and they tend to be smaller projects so that
Mhm.
people don't get discouraged and, give up knitting altogether, which I think is is also a thing for yarn stores because they obviously want people to fall in love with knitting and come back and continue to buy
Oh,
yarn
definitely.
and continue to shop and
Mhm.
at the store. So I'm not really sure what's happening here because I don't know about you, but my screen is black. What do you see?
Mine just went black. Yeah.
Hmm. Well,
Hmm.
that hasn't happened before. Well, escape
Something
always works. We'll
disconnected or
see what's
something?
going on there. We may have to do this the old-fashioned way, but I think yeah, something just happened, which
Hmm.
isn't normal. Oh, everybody else is black too. In fact, I can't even find my mouse. Hmm.
Hmm. I saw the mouse just a second ago
Did you? Oh,
going across
all
the
right. I
screen.
think it I think it was just like I think it was just a little slowdown. Let me see if I can I'm going to turn the PowerPoint off and see if I can just do it the
Oh,
old-fashioned
there
way.
it is.
There you go. All right. So as you can see, here's the cover is really lovely. I love the colors on this. I think that's one of the things on all of these 60 quick knit books
Mhm.
is they definitely when you see them on the bookshelf is
Mhm.
you you know I mean they're all part of this series, but they all have their own little color palette and there's such
Oh
a
yeah,
nice
that's all
mix
our art
and
director Diane.
yeah, really
She's great.
really yeah, they're really beautiful, and I love this with the green and blue and coral. It's just
Mhm.
really fresh.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
yeah, she did a really nice job on this. So, yeah, so this is yeah, there's something weird going on here. So here's the first pattern I pulled, and when we were talking about like that single kind of skill, and this has such a beautiful cable trim
Mhm.
on the cuff. And then the variegated yarn is really doing all the rest of the work on this
Yep.
project. So where did this come from?
This came from Paradise Fibers in Spokane, Washington, designed by Megan Jones. And yeah, we thought this was great because it's, the only cabling you have to do is just one narrow band, and then you just pick up and work from there. And,
Yeah. And
they're really fresh, and you could pick all different kinds of color combinations with them too. So it's a great way to personalize. They're unisex pattern, and so yeah, it's just a great way to encourage someone to make it their own.
yeah, and that denim color is always great because we live in jeans. So it
Mhm.
goes with everything. So as long as you have jeans on the bottom. Yeah, and Shannon
Mhm.
says they're adorable. Savannah Gal says they're super super cute. I agree. That's why I picked them. As soon as when I was going through the book, I was like, I mean, these you would grab these and wear these every day. They're adorable, and just that
Oh yeah.
the cable is really really pretty. And then this next project I picked is this really really cool slouchy hat. I love this twist at the top. It's just that little
Oh yeah,
detail.
it's just a nice little punctuation on top there. Yeah, this was great because so these came from Massachusetts, a store called In the Loop in Plainville. They're designed by Talitha Cuomi, and yeah, it's a great hat because brioche fabric is a really big trend right now, but it takes a long time to knit. So this twisted rib stitch gives you that look in half the time it takes to knit brioche. So or fisherman's rib, knitting in the row below. So it's great. It's really trendy, nice bright pop of color. So it's another good, fast finish
Yeah.
project where you can practice, something that is actually a lot easier than it looks
Yeah,
to
and
make.
that fast thing is good, especially if you find yourself needing something 3 days before Christmas. This is
Mhm.
maybe something maybe not quite so quick that you might want to start tomorrow.
Mm.
If you're
Yeah.
thinking you're going to need this for a Christmas gift, but this is beautiful. This is really 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 stunning.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the word I would use to describe these. They're really a keepsake item, and it's just they have an heirloom look to them, and they're
Really.
really just timeless too.
Yeah.
So, and they would be so warm, with the farrell stranding, and yeah, they're just beautiful. We just had to include these. So these came from Woolen Collectibles in Kalispell, Montana. They're designed by Tammy Eigenman Thompson, and so yeah, we as soon as we saw these, we just had to include them in the book.
Yeah, they're
They're
getting
just
wows
beautiful.
and yowzas in the room, and Savannah Gal says that they would be great in red and white and hanging on the mantle, which I agree. Wouldn't these make amazing Christmas stockings on the mantle? They would be
Oh, absolutely.
stunning. Yeah, and Shannon says the pattern's beautiful, which it's with that I'm a and I'm just I love snowflakes, anything snowflakey. Ever since I bought my house up in the mountains,
Mhm.
I just snowflakes and reindeer are my thing, but I can completely see this on a mantle. But yeah, and absolutely heirloom pieces. It's just so pretty. So pretty. And then there's some baby pieces in here too, because I guess little ones. Of course, when you knit for little ones, you're really knitting for
Mhm.
their parents.
Right.
So, because they're not old enough to appreciate them, but their parents are certainly old enough to appreciate that you took the time to knit something for their little darling. And I
Absolutely.
yeah, and I especially love the little duckies. I think the little duckies are just
Oh
so
yeah.
yeah, they're so precious. Where did this one come from?
This came from Fiberworks in Beaver Creek, Ohio. They're designed by Marcy Brooks. And we thought these were just great because they have a really vintage look to them, but with, all those colors in the Cascade 220 line, we could use some neon shades and really make them look modern. Um, and, baby projects are great also for new knitters because you can make a full-sized garment, but it's a tiny garment. So you have the satisfaction of finishing a sweater or vest. Um, and you can also, this is a great project again to practice the stranding colorwork technique. I think these are stranded. Um, you could do intarsia with them too, but it would probably be easier to strand them. And then, you just finish that one band around the bottom, and then it's all stockinette from there on out.
Yeah, that's
So,
clear sailing. Yeah, and then of course, and then you're if they're quick finish items too. So
oh,
yeah,
absolutely, they're really tiny.
yeah, which is nice, and especially if you're not knitting in really, really, really fine yarn, which then it kind of
Mhm.
evens out. But Savannah Gal says she
Right.
loves those little squirrels. She has a little squirrel that comes to her window every morning
Oh.
for peanuts, which is just so sweet. So yeah, that's just they're just so cute. And then
Mhm.
and what I really love for gift giving, I mean, shawls are just the perfect gift because you don't have to worry about size. And I think this is one of those pieces
Absolutely.
too. And I'm a huge fan of the Cascade 220 line. I don't even want to tell you how many. I use it as my color wheel in my studio at home. I have
Mhm.
hundreds of skeins and balls of Cascade 220
Oh
in my
yeah.
stash,
Well,
but I
there's just
have
so
them
much to
out
choose
on
from.
display because I pull them and use them as my
Mhm.
color wheel. So,
Right.
yeah, they're just I mean, it's hard to pick because they're like 400 shades of aqua, but
Right.
it really shows kind of that mix and match. Yeah, I could actually open my own shop, Shannon. It's almost embarrassing, but I'm really not embarrassed. I love my yarn.
No, you should
And
be proud.
yeah, and when the next ice age comes, people will be lining up to come to my house because I'll have all the
Absolutely.
goods to keep people warm. But yeah, and Savannah Gal saying this shawl would be great for the holidays because of the reds, which and that particular shade of red
Oh
at the
yeah.
top really is flattering
Mhm.
on almost every skin color. So
Oh, definitely. It's a really true coral, and it's flattering on almost everybody.
yeah, it's
And
really pretty.
because it's not a red like a Christmas red, you can actually wear this piece year round, even past the holidays. So it's a good gift because you get a lot of mileage out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the lace trim is not it's not like you've got enough stockinette in there that it's not
Mhm.
like crazy lace.
Right. Yeah, it's really just I yeah, it's just little eyelets worked into that, and then yeah, the main portion of the shawl is mostly stockinette, and then you do have a really easy cable just along the edge too.
Yeah, it's just
So
a little
this
rope
is
cable
something
along
for
there.
more, for maybe more intermediate, someone who wants to tackle those, but there's enough stockinette in between that you can have a breather while you're practicing those techniques.
Yeah, the breather's nice. the little mindless section in the middle where you don't have to
Mhm.
actually pay attention so much. Yeah, Shannon says it's pretty and unique. I agree. I love the mix of the cable with the lace edge. Is really
Mhm.
nice. Yeah. So and there's some color work pieces in here, stranded pieces in here, but stranding doesn't have to be like really crazy difficult, especially if you do it two handed. Which Tanis Gray,
Mhm.
who used to be at Vogue Knitting, Tanis Gray
Mhm.
actually taught me that technique, and I have a video on it. Two handed Fair Isle. I have a video on it on YouTube, which is really crazy, crazy fast and quite easy
Mhm.
to do.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, and whether you knit continental or American style, because I knit American style and it's actually really
Mhm.
easy. But a little hat like this is a great chance to practice that without, you probably don't want to start that technique on a extra large man's sweater.
Right. Well,
You
this
re-
is great too because you only use two colors per row. Even though it looks really complicated, it's actually you're just interchanging two colors on every row that you're stranding. So it's a great way to use that technique, the
yeah,
two-handed color work technique.
yeah, and the neutral colors on this make it very modern as well.
Mhm.
So, really nice. Very nice. I like this hat. My husband would wear that hat, and he's not a
Oh
hat
yeah, it's
wearer.
another great unisex design. We actually have a lot of those in this book. Speaking of which,
Speaking of which, yeah, this is
this hat,
really
yeah, another hat that can go, would be great for men or women.
yeah, and I
Um,
loved the welting on this hat, how this was created with the I guess this is cartridge stitch, I guess technically is what this would be, but it's really
mhm.
got with that it creates that welted look, which is
Oh yeah.
really sharp.
Mhm.
And
And
of
it kind
course
of
the
looks like
pine
a tree
trees.
trunk, we thought. So it goes well with that little color worked band.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, and Shannon says another great hat, and she loves the welting too. It's just
Mhm.
this would be good on guys as well as girls. It looks
Mhm.
lovely on this model, but I can definitely see this on my son. I think he would look great in this
Mhm.
hat. So, as well as any mountain man would wear this hat too.
Oh,
So,
definitely. Yeah, and it's got
yeah,
the colors are really understated, but they're actually really rich too. There's, a lot of heathering in those shades. So, yeah, it's really just a beautiful altogether. Yeah, it's a great effect.
yeah. Or you could do it very wintry too. It would be really pretty in like
Mhm.
blues and grays. So, if you wanted to
Right.
do a wintry hat. So
Well,
that and
again, there's a lot of
that's the great thing
room in these projects to make it your own.
yeah, and that's the great thing about Cascade is if you can't find a shade you like in Cascade, then you are clearly colorblind. So
Yeah.
yeah, Savannah says, "Isn't this sweet?" It's like bubble gum and candy canes mixed together.
Mhm.
It's just so I guess that would be
Yeah.
sweet since it's very candy cane. But
Mhm.
what an adorable little dress for a girl, and the little flower buttons are just the a perfect sweet touch. Who do we have
Oh,
to
yeah.
thank for this?
Definitely.
Because it is just adorable.
This was designed by Elaine Eskison, so she is associated with Pine Tree Yarns in, well, whew. I've
Yeah,
actually haven't had to pronounce these. Damariscotta?
yeah.
I
Your
think I
guess
said
is as
that
good
in
as
Maine.
mine on that one in Maine. Oh, but this is
So,
the most adorable. Yeah, this is the most adorable little summer dress. This is for 6 months to 24 months. So
mhm.
yeah,
So yeah, wide range of sizes there.
yeah. And so Kate says she wants to make this for her niece. And someday I'll have a granddaughter and in case my daughter-in-law is listening, I am not pushing you. Trust me, I'm not in a hurry. Is that someday I'll have a granddaughter and maybe I'll have a granddaughter and this will be on my list because this could not be cuter. What an
mhm.
adorable little dress. Yeah, Shannon said it's precious. It's just such a
Mhm.
cute little piece, and that little picot hem,
Mhm.
just adorable detail, just adorable detail, and it looks like it's got a little bit of it
There's
looks like
some slip stitching on there,
yeah, how
which
cute.
you could actually thread a ribbon through at the waist if you wanted to add a little extra touch there. And yeah, just the stripes and all these little easy details come together to make just this adorable little dress.
How cute. Yeah, this next one, I just smiled when I saw this. I want this in adult
Oh yeah.
size, an acorn head. So it's just it. This was just too cute not to include. And I know it's baby size, but honestly, I want to
Mhm.
make this in adult size because I want to wear an acorn on my head. It's
Well, it
so
wouldn't be
cute.
too difficult. It's a really
Just
simple
size it
hat.
up.
So if you
Yeah,
just added, another sort of wedge in there, it's an 18-inch circumference right now, so it wouldn't be
yeah,
too tough to size it up to an adult size. And I think this one is actually, yeah, it's made with 2 strands of yarn held together, so it's super fast. It's actually a really chunky hat. So you knit it on size 10 needles. So yeah,
yeah. It's so cute.
that's
And
a fast finish project for you.
this one came from Main Street Yarn Shop in Hartford, Wisconsin. Yeah, which I'm sure up there they. So yeah, and Savannah Gal said she would wear that in her size too. She made a pumpkin hat for herself. You go,
Oh,
girl.
nice.
you, yeah, if you would wear a pumpkin hat, why not an acorn? And who does not love a
Absolutely.
sock monkey, right? And a sock
Oh
monkey,
yeah.
yeah. And this is a really especially cute one with that red pom pom on its head and on
Mhm.
on the ties.
Oh
So
yeah.
cute. What child would not love one of these? I mean, boys,
Yeah, it's so
girls.
bright and fun, and you can um, see that coming from a mile away because it's so bright. But kids just love bright colors, and yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
mean, it'd be hard to lose your kid in a crowd with this on.
yeah. So,
You'd spot that
and
pom
again,
pom
this
for
is
quite a
another
while.
one that could work for boys or girls. So,
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about that monkey's mouth that just makes you want to like kind of lean over and give it a kiss. There's just something
yeah.
about that
Well,
hat.
he's smiling.
He is. It's almost like he's
He's a
puckered
happy
up.
sock monkey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Shannon said it's a what a great idea. It's just so cute. So, and the nice thing about these is, they're not only are they just adorable, but they're almost all of these are really, really fast projects.
Definitely.
So, yeah, and not just for holiday gifts, but baby showers and birthdays and you know, just because you love them kind of gifts, which is nice. And
Mhm.
this, the Newsboy cap, and what I loved about this was the trim in between the sections on the top. And,
Mhm.
when Louisa Harding was here on Monday, she was talking about taking something that's, kind of a basic or ordinary sort of shape or design and the little detail that takes it from ordinary to really special. Oh, Candy thinks I should knit her this. Oh, yeah, good luck, Candy, on that one. But I love how the cable comes up over the top and creates the shape of this cap is
Oh yeah, and
really
it
crazy
creates those
beautiful.
puckers that you want to have in the newsboy cap. And it's a really feminine take on the newsboy cap design. So it's
Yeah, I've
yeah,
never seen anything like this. It's really, really, really pretty. So yeah, it's this is really these are special. Savannah Gal says that she sees lots of people in Chicago wearing them. So maybe Candy Savannah Gal is going to knit one for you because she sees these all the time. So check with her.
Mhm.
You can work that out between the two of you. So, but yeah, the cable is like this really crazy special. And this comes from we need to give
Mhm.
a shout out to Marin Melchior at Cacklin
Mhm.
Hens in Middlebury, Vermont
I
as
love that
well.
shop name.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that shop name is really is a lot of fun. So, yeah, that's a beautiful hat. Absolutely beautiful hat. And of course, it wouldn't be a quick knit book without some nice mitts. So,
Absolutely.
which a really great quick knit for because you can never have too many, mostly because if you're like me, you have a tendency to lose one all the time. Helene says these are so pretty, and I think the color makes these so soft. It really makes. I mean, if you did these in brown tweed, it would be a
Mhm.
very different look. but this
Oh,
soft
definitely.
aqua makes them so feminine. They're really pretty.
So feminine and modern pastels are really in right now. That's one of those trends that's been really perennial over the last couple of years. So, but it's actually a nice way to wear a pastel as a neutral because you can just work a little pop of it into your into your outfit. And actually, this is another one of those where you can make so many out of a single skein of Cascade 220.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a
I
very
don't know,
inexpensive project.
definitely. You could probably get, I'd say, maybe 3 pairs out of them. I don't know for sure, but you could
Wow.
definitely get multiple pairs out of one skein.
Well, given that a skein of Cascade 220 wool goes for about $7, $8,
Mhm.
that is crazy when you figure it's going to cost you about $250 to make a pair of these. I mean,
Um,
that's just
I had to
nuts.
sign back in. Sorry, my computer went.
Oh,
But yeah, absolutely.
oh my goodness.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, my screen went black. I wasn't sure if, if you could still
Oh,
see
you're
me or
here.
not, but
Okay,
I'm
good.
back.
Yep.
Um, so,
Wow. Yeah, that's
but yeah, it's such a cost-effective yarn, and with so many colors and styles, tweeds, heathers, solids, so many things to choose
yeah.
from. It's just how could
Yeah.
you go wrong?
Yeah, it's top and it's my favorite felting wool on top of it. So because
Oh yeah,
it doesn't
it
get
felt
all
so well.
pilly and bumpy when you felt it. So it's just yeah, it's hard to it's hard to go wrong with the Cascade 220. I just love it. So yeah, this is really pretty. And the nice thing is this is a the cable is repetitive. It goes in the same direction. It's
Mhm.
a simple rope cable. So if you're new to
Mhm.
cabling, this is pretty. I mean, this is a you'll have cabling down by the time you finish a pair of these.
Oh
So
yeah. And
yeah,
they're super simple. I think you just, seam for the sides. There's just a hole in the side for the thumb. So it's basically just knitting a square and then sewing it.
wow, doesn't get better than that. And
Mhm.
Shannon says she does not own any Cascade 220. Well, go get
What?
some. Go get some, Shannon.
Gotta
That's
have that in your stash.
I know that's the saddest thing I've heard today. Of course, it is only 12:30, so you could be beaten out by the end of the day. We'll see how that some of yours. Get your own, Shannon. I'm hanging on to my stash. So, and this is a great little project to learn mitered squares. So, as we were talking
Mhm.
about, it's how shop projects are kind of a like a single new skill type of thing. Is
Mhm.
this little mitered square cardi, which is such a simple little project and just so cute. It's really about just choosing your colors makes all the
Mhm.
difference in this project because you do this in black and white and you get a very different look,
Oh yeah, definitely.
right?
And it's
So
so cozy and comfy looking um and yeah, and it's a really simple technique that creates a lot of visual impact too. So
yeah, it's very
gotta
op
have those kinds
art.
of knits. Mhm.
It's very op art. So yeah, it's so cute. The little baby's so cute too. So yeah,
Oh
Shannon
yeah.
says she would love one of
Mhm.
these. It's very kimono like. The shape on this is
Mhm.
very kimono like. So I agree, Shannon. I would wear one of these. And I just love the texture. I love the texture on this one. I think I might have to knit one of these for me.
Oh, this is the perfect mesh cowl. It's just when you want a mesh cowl, this is like what you think of. So it's here in this book now.
Hey, there you go. And we have to give a shout out. This is Sarah Bass at Dancing
Mhm.
Goat Yarn Shop. So, boy, there's a visual there, isn't it? Dancing Goat Yarn Shop in Warsaw, New York. And wow, and this is such a short pattern that
Mhm.
it's almost scary how short this is, and it's only two hanks
Yep,
of
just one column. Mhm.
yeah, it's two hanks of yarn on on a size 8 needle. You know how fast this is going to be to knit. So,
Oh yeah, you could whip out a bunch of those in time for the holidays for sure.
yeah, you could
And it
definitely
goes with anyone's wardrobe as well.
yeah, Shannon said she would love this for her too, and Savannah Gal says it looks simple and very pretty. It's I mean, and who wouldn't love this, right? This is and of course it's one size fits all, so you don't have to worry
Mhm.
about sizing. But this is really beautiful. I loved this. I had to put it in the book or put it in the presentation, and then this is really nice. This is garter stitch, so it's
Mhm.
knit, which is nice for people who hate to purl. And with the lovely little ruffle on the edge, and it just sits so nicely on the shoulders. And and it's
Yeah, and it
this
has that
is
little flare, it kind of with the ruffle. It's just such a cute shape. It's so feminine.
yeah, and it's also very, very, very short pattern,
Mhm.
which is a nice thing, and it uses 3 balls of superwash paints. So
Mhm.
it'll be quick, and of course the fact that it's all garter stitch is really crazy quick and
Oh yeah.
moderately mindless. So Helene says it's really
Mhm.
beautiful, which I agree. And of course the yarn is doing this is their hand painted yarn, and it's just doing all the work for you, which
Mhm.
is really nice of them. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and
And
this
their
is
hand paints are so nice because they're really subtle. It's not like these big blocks of striping. It's sort of it almost looks like the knitting was painted.
yes. So, yeah, really pretty. The colors are engineered very nicely. So you don't
Mhm.
get big pooled sections of color in there. And this is from Elemental Yarns in Shorewood,
Mhm.
Illinois. So we've kind of covered the country in here.
Yep. Well,
So,
we tried. We tried to get a selection of everyone across the nation, and um, each shop has their own unique style, and so we wanted to represent everyone's style at each shop because everyone has a different clientele, and you can actually see from state to state. In California, you might have smaller, more accessory things, and then in the Midwest, you might have warmer, um, capelets and hats and that kind of thing. So it is fun to see, what each shop, what their clientele might want to knit because no one knows better than a yarn store, what people want to knit day in and day out. So we had to
yes.
know what we had to get their their input.
Yeah, and I was surprised like that little that adorable pink striped little girl's dress, comes
Mhm.
from one of the coldest places in the country in Maine, but they also have beautiful
Mhm.
summers. So,
Oh yeah, definitely.
so yeah, they have beautiful summers. It's a summer vacation spot. So, but yeah, so it's interesting to basically travel the country through their
Mhm.
knitwear designs. So yeah, and Savannah Gal is talking about this capelin and says it'd be a speedy knit with no purling, and I know a lot of people don't like to purl,
Mhm.
so this is yeah really 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 pretty. So what a great book. So I guess the
Oh, thank you.
series goes on. Are we expecting another volume?
Yes, we've got something else in the works. So we're actually going a little bit of a different direction. We have luxury knits coming up. So
Oh.
moving away from the 220 line and going into their Venezia line, which is a beautiful, beautiful wool silk blend. So, and it's actually, it's a luxury yarn, but it's a pretty good price point. So,
I've used it. It's a
it's
very nice
I think
yarn.
I think sensible luxury is their term for that yarn. Um, so yeah, it's beautiful. It picks up. It has such great stitch definition because of the silk in there. It's shiny. So there's going to be some gorgeous stuff coming up with that book.
Oh, and when can we expect to
So
see that in our local yarn stores?
well, I don't know if I can say yet, but I'll have to give you an update when I
Okay, well
find
you'll
out.
come back and you'll
So
come back and give us a tour of that book when it's out.
sure, yeah.
Oh, well, Savannah
So
Gal says this
yeah.
book was so full of great knits. She didn't see anything she didn't like. So I bet you got
Oh,
your
well, that's what we love to hear.
So I bet she's got her fingers crossed that she's going to win a copy because I'm giving away a copy. I would never have an
Mhm.
event where we didn't give away a copy, which we'll do after we stop the recording. So, but for those who don't win a copy, you know what's coming next, right? So, but first, I do want to give credit where credit is due. When Trish was here, Christina, to talk about
Mhm.
um, the very easy sweaters, which is just one of my favorite books from Vogue Knitting ever. Is she said she was talking about the fact that the iPad, the magazine app on for my iPad, which I subscribe to the magazine on my iPad, as well as
Mhm.
getting paper copies, is that they were updating the app so that we could actually sticky note, like basically make notes on the magazine. And I was so
Yep.
excited because I don't like to write on my magazines, and when I sticky note things, they always fall off. And
Mhm.
I had a little, app update on my iPad, and it was the Vogue Knitting app. and I updated it,
Mhm.
and I can sticky note to my heart's content on my
Oh yeah.
magazines. And
You can
who
write anywhere and you can
oh
save it too. That's
my
the important thing. You can save your notes
god.
and the instructions.
So when I make changes or I find something that I really love,
Mhm.
I can make a note and I can find it again, and whoever figured that out deserves a big fat wet kiss. So if you know who that is, if you could pass a kiss on for me, I'm really tickled. So if you haven't downloaded the Vogue Knitting app, which the app itself is free, and taken a look or previewed any of the magazines on for iPad, or I guess for Android devices, there it's just awesome. It's so nice to be able to take your magazines with you. I get Vogue
Mhm.
Knitting and I get Knit Simple on my iPad, and it's just the best thing ever to be able to take your magazines with you. I don't wherever I am, for some reason my paper magazines are never in the right place. So
Yeah, I know what
it's
you mean.
only yeah it's the nice thing is that on this that I can take like 100 magazines with me, which is great. I just love it. So anyways, for whoever, so only one lucky person is gonna walk away with their own very own copy of this from directly from Sixth and Spring Today of the book. And for those
Mhm.
who don't win, or for those who come back later and listen and watch and just can't wait and have to have this, first call your local yarn store, because you should support them to every extent possible to buy your books and your yarn. And if they don't have it yet in stock, and you just have to have it today or tomorrow or in 2 days with 2 day shipping, slide on over to planetpurl.com, and you know how to do this. You're going to go over to books. You're going to click on books. You're going to click, slide down, and you'll see 60 Quick Knits from America's Yarn Shop. And if you click on that, it will take you to a link to Amazon, where when you click on it, you can go buy it on Amazon, and we get a little commission, which helps us pay for like this interface, this GoToMeeting interface, and hosting our website, and allows us to continue to bring you events like today, and which where we get to give away lots of really cool stuff. Um, so help support Planet Pearl by doing that, and it costs you nothing, and it helps us out. So we really appreciate that. So, people in the room, don't go away, because that's how we give away a book. Christina, thank you so much for
Mhm.
coming and joining
Oh,
us today and giving us a little tour in the story of the book.
of course.
We look
Thank you so
forward.
much for having me.
Oh, our pleasure. And thank you so much for joining us today, and for giving us a little teaser about the next one in the series, which I can't wait to see. And
Mhm.
come back and talk to us when the next one comes out.
Okay, sounds good.
And and have a wonderful holiday. And we'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks.
Take care.
All right. Bye.